You are meditating daily and you are visualizing your desires, you're feeling the emotions as well, but your manifestations are either taking forever or they're not even showing up at all. And then the trap comes when we start to wonder if something is wrong with us, if we're doing the technique right, and we get all in our head, okay? And I get it because I was that guy who would wake up at 5 a.m., meditate for an hour, visualize my dream life, then I would check my bank account and I would expect Elon Musk to send me money overnight, okay? It was like that. Now, my parents didn't raise me to be this delusional, but here we are. Here's the thing. The thing is, your manifestations aren't delayed because the process doesn't work, okay? They are delayed because your frequency is inconsistent. And that is like trying to tune a radio station while constantly changing the dial, okay? I want to hear Abundance FM. Hold on, but let me quickly check what's playing on the broke-ass FM channel real quick, okay? And for about 3 years, yeah, I was the king of spiritual whiplash. I'd be Buddha on my meditation chair. Then I would transform into an anxiety monster or a mess the moment my boss would send me an email or check my bank account or receive a bill. And so my frequency was bouncing around like a ping pong ball, okay? And it wasn't until I discovered the missing piece. Frequency, consistency. That is when everything changed, okay? And within 6 months of applying what I'm about to show you, I manifested opportunities that eluded me for years, including a 6-figure business that I created while working less and not more, okay? So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why your manifestations are either taking so long and the practical system I developed that finally accelerated my results. No more spiritual blue balls, okay? No more spiritual blue balls where you are constantly on the edge of manifestation, but never quite getting there. So I'm excited for you. Take down some notes, get a snack, pop a bottle of wine, because I'm going to break down what frequency inconsistency really means and why it's the hidden sabotager of manifestation. I'll also show you the 3-step process, the 3-step system to finally stabilize your energy. Because let me tell you, once you understand that manifestation isn't about peak experiences, but consistent frequency, that is when everything changes, my friend. Everything changes for you. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that changed everything for me. And listen carefully. Everything you perceive reflects the energy you embody throughout the entire day. Not just during meditation, okay? Everything you perceive reflects the energy you embody throughout your day, not just during meditation. Now, my mom and dad told me that results come from hard work and suffering. No pain, no gain, okay? That was basically our family motto right after, hey, Kevin, why are you not a family doctor yet? Why are you not a doctor yet? But in manifestation, it's actually no consistency, no results. You can't match math equation your way out of occasional bursts of effort, okay? We are all programmed to fluctuate in frequency based on external triggers and past conditioning, okay? That is like having emotional ADHD. 1 minute you're vibrating at the frequency of abundance, next thing you know, you're scrolling through Instagram feeling like a failure because you saw someone that you went to high school with who just bought their 3rd home or their 3rd car. That's what it's like. So here's a real life example, okay? This is what it looks like in real life. You wake up, you meditate for an hour, feel amazing. Now your frequency, 11 out of 10, okay? On the frequency scale, it's 11 out of 10. However, now you check your email, you're now down to a 7. Then you remember that bill you forgot to pay. Now you're down to a 5. Then your boss gives you a passive aggressive comment. Now you're down to a 3. By lunchtime, you are basically vibrating at the frequency of a used condom. And you're wondering why the universe isn't delivering your manifestations. Damn! Because you're a used condom, sorry. I'm just joking. This is why so many practitioners are stuck in manifestation limbo. And that is those brief elevated states during meditation, they cannot override your dominant frequency throughout the day. That is like eating a salad, okay? That is like eating a salad and then wondering why you are not losing weight because you're secretly smashing pizzas for dinner every single night. And I used to do that a lot, and I was a big fatty. So, from a quantum perspective, each frequency level connects to a different timeline or reality. Okay, stay with me. When your frequency is all over the place, what you're doing is basically timeline hopping like a drunk idiot, like a drunk time traveler, okay? You're never staying in one reality long enough for your manifestations to solidify and actually manifest into 3D. So, here it is. Okay, listen carefully. I give you permission. I give you permission to be completely unreasonable. Maintain your elevated state regardless of external circumstances. Yes, your logical mind will actually say that this is delusional. Good. Sometimes you need to be delusional to break out of the collective hallucination of limitation. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Hey, what's up, my friend? Kevin here. Just a quick heads up for all the entrepreneurs and professionals watching this. If you have been feeling stuck, but you know you're capable of more, I've got a few spots open right now for my one-on-one mentorship. In this program, I'll personally guide you through my identity frequency mapping process to break through the patterns holding you back so you can create the results that you've been chasing. Whether that's more income, more freedom to spend time with your loved ones, or finally living the life that you've envisioned for so long. Now, I can only work with a handful of clients at a time to give you my full attention, and spots tend to actually go very quickly. So if you are interested in making the shift now, then please click on the link below this video, book a call, and let's see if we're a good fit to work together. Now back to the video. Because the first step is about recognizing your frequency fluctuations, okay? Most people have no idea how to dramatically change their energy, change the energy drops throughout the day. They're unaware of that, okay? They think that, you think you're a good driver while everyone around you is like making the sign of a cross while you're changing lanes. That is what it's like. And I used to think I was pretty consistent until I actually tracked my frequency throughout the day, okay? I discovered I was basically I was bipolar energetically, okay? During meditation, I was Tony Robbins on steroids, but by 3 p.m., I was like Tony Soprano, right? Whoever looked at me wrong, I was ready to whack him. And so my upbringing blessed me with the ability to hide my emotions well, okay? Or so I thought. Don't show any weakness. That was my motto. But my frequency was telling me a different story. I wasn't being stoic. I was being energetically inconsistent. Turns out, you can't fool the universe with a poker face, okay? Here's what was really happening. Those frequency drops are actually our body's way of keeping you safe in the familiar territory. Our nervous system is like my mum, okay? My overprotective Asian mum. It doesn't want you venturing into new neighborhoods, okay? Why you want to go abundance neighborhood? We have scarcity at home. She's not Chinese, she's Filipino, but I don't know why I made that accent, but there you go. When you are living at inconsistent frequencies, it keeps you energetically half dead. Neither fully in your old reality, nor fully in your new one. So you are like a quantum zombie, okay? Not fully alive in either world. No wonder your manifestations are taking forever, because they don't know which version of you to show up for. So, you must consciously choose to monitor and maintain your frequency beyond meditation, okay? Beyond meditation. This means becoming aware of those moments where you are slipping back into your old lower frequencies. And that is like catching yourself before you drunk text your ex. Oh my God, I cannot control my fingers. Oh fuck. Fingers? No, we're not going to do this. We're not going to go back there again. You have to thank your protective mechanisms for trying to keep you safe. However, you must also decide to maintain coherence regardless of it trying to keep you safe. It's like patting your fear in the head, saying, oh, that's cute fear, but I'm going to keep vibrating at the frequency of abundance regardless of what you think. So that is step one, my friend. Step two is you got to decide. Deciding your frequency is non-negotiable, okay? Think about this. You created your desired reality in meditation. So you can maintain that frequency. Can you maintain that frequency beyond your ability? Okay, after that. That's like saying you could cook a gourmet meal, but you can't resist eating out of the trash 5 minutes later. That's what it's like. And let me tell you, this was a game changer for me, okay? Because I decided my elevated state was more important than reacting to triggers. When my car broke down on the highway, for example, instead of spiraling on why me, my victim mode, okay, I chose to maintain my frequency. Was it easy? Hell no. Hell no, okay? I wanted to swear at the universe. I wanted to swear at the car manufacturer, probably my ancestors as well for putting me in this situation just for good measure, but I chose differently. And there is a difference. There is a difference between reacting to circumstances and maintaining your frequency regardless of conditions. One is the victim mindset. Things are happening to me. Poor me. The other is creator mindset. I decide my frequency no matter what is happening. Okay? Every trigger is actually an opportunity to practice frequency maintenance. Okay? Write that down. Frequency maintenance. That annoying coworker, Karen, you know her. They are not the devil in flesh. Okay? You are a frequency personal trainer. Okay? Thanks for the workout, Karen. My frequency abs are getting so toned because of you. That's how it should be like. All right? Now, you have to make a conscious declaration that nothing external will determine your internal frequency. Not your bank account, not your relationship status, not fucking Karen, not even that driver that cut you off. No. Your frequency is your domain, is your responsibility. And let me tell you, as an Asian guy, I was taught to respect authority. Okay? Asians know this. Respect your authority. Listen to your elders. Respect the boss. But in frequency work, oh my God, you are the authority. Okay? No one crosses your frequency. You are the frequency creator, not a frequency reactor. This isn't about ignoring reality. It's about deciding which reality you are going to energetically align with, regardless of temporary circumstances. That is step 2. Step 3 is embody frequency consistency. Okay? This is where the rubber meets the road. Embodying frequency consistency, regardless of conditions. Do not wait for manifestations to maintain your frequency. That's backwards. Your consistent frequency is what allows the manifestations to be experienced in real life. Okay? And I want to share the system I developed for maintaining coherence throughout the day. And I created what I call anchors. Anchors. Okay? Listen carefully. There were specific triggers that remind me to check and reset my frequency. Every time I walk through a door, every time I take a sip of water, every time I check my phone, they are cues to align my energy. Okay, to realign my energy. That is what it is. Now, listen carefully. Your world mirrors your dominant frequency, not your peak meditation experiences. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The world mirrors our dominant frequency, not peak states. And so your reality is taking an average of your energetic output. If you are at a 9 for an hour, but a 4 for the rest of the day, guess what? Reality is going to reflect something closer to a 4.5, not the 9 you felt during meditation. So what does that mean? Old triggers become your greatest teachers for frequency maintenance, okay? That bill that used to send you into scarcity spiral or lack, you maintain your frequency to that's what it is. And the process is simple, okay? Notice frequency drops, then recommit to elevated states immediately. Don't beat yourself up when you drop, okay? That just lowers your frequency even more. Just notice and change. Oops, I'm back into scarcity again. Okay, back to abundance we go. As simple as that. Now listen carefully. When you catch yourself in scarcity or you dipped in frequency, take a big deep breath in, get back into a neutral state, keep breathing, and then choose abundance again. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. Consistency in frequency creates a new default neural pathways. Okay? That is like walking the same path through the field every day until it becomes a clear trail. Eventually, your brain starts to develop these higher frequencies because they have become the path of least resistance. Okay? Did you hear that carefully? Did you hear that? They become the path of least resistance. Okay? But you gotta lead the dance with your energy throughout the entire day. Okay? Not just during meditation. Do not be that person who only shows up for the first dance and then sits out for the rest of the night. The universe wants a partner who can go all night long. You feel me? So anyway, at this point you have a choice. You can half commit your frequency or be fully committed to consistency. There is no middle ground. Okay? There is no middle ground. It's kind of like there is no such thing as being kind of pregnant. That's not a thing. The universe responds to your dominant frequency, not your occasional peaks. Okay, it's not impressed by your highlight reel. It basically responds to your energetic average. Okay? Here's the reality. Imagine living from a constant elevated frequency. Okay? Challenges still arise from that elevated frequency. Okay? However, they do not derail you. Opportunities that used to seem impossible, they start showing up regularly. People respond to you differently. How about that? Why? Because your entire reality organizes itself around your new energetic set point. So I want to ask you, what is it going to be? Okay? What is it going to be? Choose frequency consistency or accept manifestation delays. Simple as that. That is like choosing between to take the express train or walk to your destination. I don't know about you, but I want to take that train, okay? You will both eventually get there, but one might take you the rest of your life. Now pay attention and write this down, because you're going to break down the practical system and start using it to monitor your foundation, okay? This is not just about meditation, but it's about setting your baseline frequency for the rest of the day. And I developed this specific system that includes, write this down, a 5-minute coherent breathing before even getting out of bed. All right, that's it. 20 minutes of meditation focused on embodying your desired reality. Then 10 minutes of journaling your future self's perspective. Right? Okay, so setting these 3 specific intentions for the day, for the day's potential challenges. That's what it is. 3 intentions. Okay, now listen carefully. The most critical period is the transition from meditation to life. This is where most people drop their frequency faster than I drop my diet when I see pizza. You need a transition buffer. And so for at least 10 minutes after meditation, consciously maintain that elevated state and slowly engage with your day. Why not? You just took all this time to cultivate that frequency. Okay? Now, next, you need a specific trigger response protocol. Basically, when you notice your frequency dropping, use this 4-step process, okay? Pause and take 3 conscious breaths, and then place your hand in your heart, which is activating heart and brain coherence, and then recall a feeling of your elevated state that was cultivated in meditation, okay? And then choose your response from that elevated state, not your triggered state. That easy? Good. Now your environment either supports or sabotages your frequency, okay? Create anchors throughout your day or your physical space. Use symbols, objects, images, reminders that automatically trigger you back into coherence, okay? I have symbols everywhere. My wallet, my car, my office, anywhere I need a frequency reset. Okay. You also need to manage interactions that typically lower your frequency. And this was a hard one for me, okay? This was hard for me because we are always taught to be polite, be humble, be accommodating. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. I still am like that. But I had to learn that no is a complete sentence when it comes to protecting my frequency. My frequency comes first, okay? Sorry, I cannot attend it. I cannot attend your pity party because I'm too busy maintaining my vibration. You feel me? Now, I'm going to tell you something you don't want to hear. Our phones are a major frequency drain. And be ruthless with what you allow into your consciousness through your phone. I have a strict, if it shifts my internal state, I am closing whatever I'm looking at and I'm moving on with my phone. That is my rule. And finally, develop an evening practice that prevents your frequency from dropping while you sleep. Okay? Your subconscious is processing while you sleep. So you want to make sure that you are not programming any more inconsistency. So, I don't know, spend about 15 minutes before bed consciously releasing the day, okay? By sitting with yourself for about 10 to 15 minutes. Let go of any unprocessed emotions or thoughts that the day brought, okay? And don't let it affect your sleep, okay? Think of it as closing your browser tabs. Oops, I was just like pointing to the screen, but yeah, like closing your browser tabs. That's what it's like. Then, track your frequency consistency over time. I use a simple 1 out of 10 scale and check in 3 times a day, okay? That is like having a Fitbit for your frequency. Simple as that. Now, I want to share how this transformation transformed my own manifestation timeline, okay? Listen carefully. Before implementing frequency consistency, I spent 3 years. 3 fucking years, okay? That's a lot of time with minimal results. I don't want you to spend 3 years with minimal results. I want manifestation to be fun for you, okay? I would get occasional synchronicities, but nothing substantial or long-lasting, okay? Let me tell you, within 2 months of maintaining consistent frequency, I attracted a business partnership that seemed to appear out of nowhere. By the 4th month, I had opportunities coming in that I couldn't even orchestrate it by my limited mind if I had tried. And by month 6, I doubled my income and I was working fewer hours, not more. Cool, right? That can be you. That is going to be you if you apply this. There was also one time when my computer crashed right before a major deadline. Okay? Old me would have been panicking, frustrated, however new me paused, breathed, placed my hand on my heart, and chose to maintain my frequency. Instead of freaking out, I calmly explored solutions. And let me tell you, within an hour, not only did I find a way to recover my work, but I also connected with someone who ended up being a major client. And so the universe was like, oh, you maintained your frequency, huh? During that challenge. I'm going to reward you. I'm going to reward you. And this approach aligns perfectly with Dr. Joe's teachings on coherence and consistency, okay? Coherence and consistency. He talks about how we need to be our future self, not just visualize it, okay? We need to be our future self, not just visualize it throughout the entire day. The key that most people miss is that being isn't a 1 hour meditation practice. It is a moment by moment choice throughout your entire day. But here's the thing. I still have my struggles. I still struggle with consistency. Yep, I'm not perfect. Some days are harder than others, but the difference is now that I can recover quickly. I might drop from a 9 to a 5, but I don't stay in the 5. I notice, I reset instead of spiraling down to a 2, okay? And I don't want to camp there for days. I used to camp there for days. Not anymore. This is how I completely transformed my manifestation timeline, okay? I'm not even speaking from theory here. I have lived the frustration of doing all the right spiritual practices while watching my manifestations move at quantum speed. That's it. Frequency consistency is the missing key to manifestation that nobody is talking about. Okay? Everyone's so focused on the quality of their meditation or the clarity of their mental rehearsal or visualization, but almost nobody addresses how to maintain this state when life is lifing. That is like teaching someone to drive but only focusing on how to start the car. Facts. Now, from an energetic perspective, here it is. From an energetic perspective, this makes perfect sense. Everything is frequency, right? Our thoughts, our emotions, our physical reality, all frequency. They all exist at specific frequency levels, okay? Now, when you maintain an elevated frequency, you will literally become incompatible with lower frequency realities, okay? Your manifestations cannot show up because they are a natural byproduct of your dominant frequency. Now, if you can maintain consistency, if I can maintain consistency, so can you, okay? I am the guy who used to get triggered by a slightly rude barista in the morning, and then I would spend the rest of the day in an emotional tailspin. Really? I don't even know this guy. Anyway, if I can maintain my frequency through life's challenges, anyone can, even you, especially you. So, the acceleration of manifestation once your frequency stabilizes isn't incremental, but it's exponential, okay? It's not incremental, it's exponential. It's not about 10% manifesting 10% faster. No, it's about collapsing your timeline so dramatically that what might have taken years can unfold in months, weeks, even days. And I want to share one final thought that keeps me committed to frequency and consistency, even in challenging days, okay? Your frequency isn't just affecting your manifestations. It's affecting everyone around you. Now listen carefully. When you maintain a high frequency consistently, you become a lighthouse for others still lost in the fog of inconsistency. Without even saying a word, your energy gives permission for others to elevate. I've watched my skeptical family, who are super traditional, old-fashioned, stuck in their own ways, gradually shift their own frequencies just by me being in constant proximity to them. Yep, that was the best gift in all this. This isn't about feeling superior, okay? It's about responsibility. Because when you know better, you do better. And you help create the conditions for others to do better too. So, yes, maintain frequency consistency for your manifestations, but also do it because the world desperately needs more people operating at higher frequencies consistently. And in a very real way, your personal frequency works as a contribution to the collective elevation. So remember that, embody that, and please apply this. But in summary, let's recap, right? There's a 3-step system to frequency consistency, and it's basically recognize the fluctuations, become aware of when, where and why your energy drops throughout the day, and then decide that your frequency is non-negotiable, and then make a conscious commitment that nothing external will ruin your internal frequency, your internal state. And then embody frequency consistency. Develop practical systems to maintain your elevated state throughout your day, not just during meditation. You spend an hour cultivating that beautiful frequency of yours. Don't just ruin it. Don't just throw it out the window. Now, you have everything you need to maintain your frequency all day long. You don't need any more information. You don't need any fancy crystals. You just need to apply what you already know with consistency. Okay? That is like having a gym membership for 3 years and finally deciding to actually go regularly. The equipment was always there, you just weren't using it. Simple as that. So, stop being someone who occasionally elevates and start being someone who consistently embodies. I love that. I love that. Remember that. This is an identity shift, not a behavioral one, okay? You are not someone trying to manifest. You are someone who has already manifested and is living from that reality regardless of temporary appearances. Okay? Let me tell you, my parents always told me that consistency was the key to success. Practice piano every day, okay? Study every day, huh? Now, they were right about consistency. They were right about that part, but they had me focusing on the wrong things. Turns out, consistency frequency is more important than playing chopsticks on the piano for my aunties and uncles at family gatherings. My God, I'm going to delete that from my memory. But it was good entertainment. Anyway, remember, your manifestations aren't years away, okay? That is a lie. Your frequency fluctuations are in the way. So stabilize your energy and watch how quickly your reality reorganizes itself to match. And remember, consistency beats intensity every single time.